Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're doing a review impressions of a very cool knife that was given to the channel by an awesome subscriber member. I just want to say a big thank you to the member out there. You know who you are. I'm always happy to give a shout out to anybody, but I always respect someone if they would prefer not to do that. So unless you explicitly ask me to do that, I will be respectful of your privacy. But I wanted to say thank you to the awesome channel member. I sure do appreciate you. A lot of you guys will know who it is because we did an unboxing on a live stream. And yeah, he's a pretty awesome guy. And I really do appreciate this guy. And so this will likely be a giveaway for the New Year live stream I'm planning because it's a really nice knife. And we're going to get into the details of this. This is the Buck N Bear Thunderbird. And it's a frame lock. It's in a blue and brown titanium scales, as you can see right here. Real quick, this is the warranty card that came with it. Also has like a little knife care, so just kind of thing you can pause on and take a look if you'd like. But this is a brown, or if you will, it looks more like a bronze and blue anodized titanium scale. So you know this is titanium. It doesn't stick, so that's cool. And the clip is also titanium, so that's really cool. All right, now the other cool thing about this is it is Damascus steel. So look at that. It's beautiful Damascus steel, which is really nice. Now it is San Mai Damascus. If you notice, it has a layer in the middle there. And I'm not sure if it's like 8 MORV and 10 MORV, CV, or whatever it is, types of steels or what. I don't have the details on that, but it is a Damascus. I wish I knew a little more. Pretty cool knife. It is like a full-size gentleman's carry, if you can tell. Frame lock, which is nice and discreet right there. It does have a steel bar insert over travel stop. It does have a titanium clip. The frame lock has a nice cutaway, easy access. You can see here, you can get to the lock as well here. It is rounded. It's not sharp on the corners. I mean, it's a little square, but it's a very discreet square, so it's very comfortable in the hand. This is nice and rounded. There's no sharp edges that really digs into your hand. It's easy to access the frame lock. It has nice drop action shut. Opening and closing, and it does fully conceal the blade. Now, the knife, the blade to handle ratio is a little off, but it's very discreet. It looks almost like a little zip drive, or I guess an e-cigarette or something like that. But I don't smoke, so I wouldn't know. But it does feel pretty balanced when it comes out. And it's pretty sturdy, so it's going to be good, hardy use. It has a nice fuller in there. Now that's a fuller you can't really use because it's fully concealed, but it is very aesthetically pleasing. It matches the design of the blade to the handle. I think that's really fantastic. It has a single standoff with a pin for a lanyard loop, so you could put a lanyard right there if you'd like. I do like the speed holes on here, and I do like this anodization. I believe this is milled. I don't think this is attached. Yeah, I think this is one milled piece, and then this is, if you will, anodized separately, which is really cool. And I love the Damascus steel. You can see that right there if you want to take a look at that. We'll do some close-ups here in a little bit. Yeah, so it is a frame lock. It does have cage ceramic bearings, which is nice. Beautiful action for that, for sure. This is what they would consider a sheep's foot. You know, it's pretty square, so I might call it a reverse tanto. I guess it's a sheep's foot. I don't know. You could call it modified, whatever you'd like. So we'll go with that, okay? It is a flipper. That's the action. Now the flipper does have good jimping up here. It works really well, and it does work well. You know, a hand, even with my hand on the lock bar, I don't have a problem flipping that out. It's got a nice, I think, adequate detent. So it has a nice flick to it. I think that's really cool. Works really well. Yeah, the action is really smooth. I will tell you that. I like that a lot, and it works well left-handed as well, obviously. It is, at this point, right hand tip up only. I don't see it being swappable for the left hand. So if you're a lefty, you know, I know that's kind of a bummer, but usually you can carry something of this in your left rear pocket. And I know a lot of lefties who do that. But there you go. Let's talk a little bit about it. The name of the knife is, it is called the Thunderbird. Who is the designer? I don't know if I have the designer's name. It is a Buck N Bear flipper. Maybe it's just an in-house design. I don't see the name of the designer. But country of origin, this is in Pakistan, which is kind of cool. I didn't realize that. This was made in Pakistan. All right, very interesting. So pretty cool. There's no milling weight relief on there, if you notice, but there is some milling here. It's relatively thin. It does have a little weight to it, but it's not too terrible, I don't think. Handle scale materials we already talked about. We talked about how it opens and closes with the flipper. We talked about the grind. It's a flat grind coming all the way up to a very tip. I think this is, you know, it says sheep's foot. I think it's a modified reverse Tonto sheep's foot, if you want to call it anything. I think it's more of a reverse Tonto personally, but there you go. The closing action is pretty sweet, I will say that. And it does lock in really well. You can see that. Let's listen to that detent when it closes. Nice. And now I can't really grab the blade, but I can move it, and it doesn't have any detent lash. No blade play. Yeah, no pivot lash. Yeah, that works really nicely. It does look like these are T6s, so let's go ahead and double check that. I do need to get my screws. Where's my screws? See if I can grab those. Oops, without knocking everything over. All right, so let's see if those are, oops, I had the screw in my screwdriver, so let's see. This is a T8. Let's see if these are T8s. Let's do that again so you can see it. There you go. You see that T8. All right, so let's see. Yeah, T8's right there. I don't think this is T8 here, is it? No, this is probably T6s. So let's get the T6 out. T6. Yeah, T6. And T6. But those are definitely T8s. It looks like it is a captive pivot, which is awesome. I always like to see captive pivot. Definitely captive pivot on this side, so that's nice. I'll make it, you know, disassembling and cleaning the knife pretty easily. Now, the cage ceramic ball bearings, I wonder if Skiffs would fit in there. They look like they'd be the small ones, probably like the, what is it, the 8mm, whatever it is, not 8mm, but the 8, well, they're the small ones. I put them on like CJRBs, Landers and stuff like that. I wonder if that would be the ones that fit here. I don't know. I haven't taken this apart, but definitely something worth looking into. Pretty cool knife. It does have some nice feel to it. It feels really comfortable, ergonomic. I will say I like how it looks. Very square, not sharp. Let's get into the details of the knife and do a little bit of measurement. So let me get the scale out. I don't knock over everything because I have way too much stuff out here. All right. So it is 3.1 ounces, so it's not bad. 3.1 ounces for the knife. Very cool. All right. And let's go ahead and get a length measurement on this knife as well. I'll go ahead and open up the blade for this one. All right, so we're looking at a knife. I like to get it up to the edge so we can get a nice clear measurement. Knife that's just over 8 inches, so it's about 8 and I want to say 8 1/8 of an inch. The overall handle length, if you go from the tip there, is about 4 1/3 of an inch, which is pretty good size. You could sort of, I guess you could choke up trigger. I wouldn't recommend it. You'd be too close to the choil, so be careful with that. The blade length from the tip to the handle is about 3.5 inches. Going full cutting length, we're looking at about 3.25 inches. So yeah, so it's probably about 3.5 to the base of the handle and 3.25 cutting length. So not bad at all. All right, so let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness real quick. Now I can't put it away because I have to get to the blade stock. It's not going to be a super thin knife, I'll say that much. Looks pretty robust. So let's figure that out. Yeah, so it's let me do that again. 142 thousandths of an inch, 143 thousandths of an inch, so 0.14 inches. So it's not super thin, but it's not super crazy thick. I mean, it's thick, but it's not super thick. But for the size of the knife, it's a pretty hefty blade, I think. Definitely give you some good poking power. It's got nice thick tip that goes all the way in there, so you can definitely get into your dog food, cat food, mulch, fertilizer, cases of water, boxes, Amazon boxes, Christmas boxes, you know, birthday, anniversary, letters, what have you. But it works really nice as an executive knife. I think it would work really well in envelopes. I think that makes it very cool and appealing. So definitely worth that. All right, so now that we got the measurements, what category is this knife in? So this knife looks like it's retails for about $169. It's out of stock, at least when I checked at Blade HQ. I don't know if that's the price that they're going for now. So this is definitely going to be in the regular realm. It's not a budget, but it's not a high-end knife. But it feels like there's a lot of bang for your buck here. I like how it feels. I like the action. Blade is super dead center, dead nuts there. You can see that. I mean, that's really critical when you do a full recessed blade like that into the scales. So definitely, I want to say a regular. And is this EDC? Absolutely EDC. Is it hard use? Well, you know, being a gentleman's carry, I mean, I think this is pretty robust. And it's, oops, let me do that again. Pretty robust, pretty strong. Liner lock, frame lock here, excuse me. Engaged, we're like at a good 60-70%. You can see that fully engaged on there. I feel like you could really do some good use with it. And it's a pretty stocky blade, so it could be hard use as far as a folding knife is. Now, I wouldn't go chopping wood, you know, and cutting, you know, metal wires and whacking at things. You know, go get yourself an axe or a fixed blade for that. This is not that tool. Use the right tool for the right thing. It's also Damascus steel, so you have to take that with a grain of salt. Damascus steel tends to have some really good properties. I don't know about this particular Damascus steel, but you know, it's still going to be a nice steel for that. I think it definitely could be used well and could be a hard use relative to what this is. But mostly, I think because of the aesthetics and the blue and the beautiful bronze anodized and the Damascus blade, it absolutely could be a collection piece. Now, it's not a high-end, very expensive collection piece, but this certainly could be a collection piece. I think this makes a great gentleman knife, really, really great office knife sort of thing. I mean, something I would keep at my desk. So, yeah. The design, the handle, the jimping, the thumb studs. There's no thumb studs in this one. The flipper, yeah. Is there any fuller? There is a fuller, but it's not functional. Obviously, it's very aesthetic. There's no thumb hole in this particular case. I mean, I guess, could you call those? I mean, I guess if you have microscopic fingers, but no. It really is just a flipper only. But it works well as a flipper only. It's got a beautiful detent. It's very nice and snappy. It reminds me of my Quiet Carry IQ-L, the large IQ. I like that one a little bit more, obviously, but this is, I feel like you're getting a lot for what you pay for this. Obviously, the large IQ costs at least 2 times as much as this. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt and see how much you want to pay for it. Now, I like the design. I like how it works. I love the opening and closing. It's really nice. It works really well. The access to the frame lock is great. It closes nicely. It's very fidgety. But it is a flipper only, so, you know, take that into your consideration. So because it's a frame lock only, the fidget factor on this one is going to be, I'm going to be able to give it a 2, okay? I might give it a 3. I mean, it does flip really, really well, but there is absolutely no other alternative on this. So I'll give it a 2.5. So we'll round it up to a 3. It'll be a 2.5. That's the fidget factor. Now, out of that fidget factor, what's the fidgety goodness? Is it, you know, 100%? Is it, you know, 50%? What is it? I will say, I mean, I got great access there. I mean, it is pretty thick blade and everything. I mean, a pretty thick lock bar. So I'm going to give this a 90. It's going to be a good A-. I think this is definitely nice and it's really wonderful. And for some people, I think it's going to be stellar. So if you don't have big meaty fingers like I do, this will probably be a lot more comfortable. But if you got big meaty fingers, you know, just realize, you know, you have to kind of work with that, and you kind of have to use your thumb after a while because, you know, it's a little, it's hard to get your big meaty fingers in there. I mean, it definitely has access where I can put the most of the thumb in and open it, but, you know, you do have to push down a little bit. So that's why I give it a 90. I'm real close to giving it an A, but an A- I think is fair for this one. All right, so my overall thoughts, my final thoughts, you know, is it recommended? I'm going to say yes, it is recommended. I've never handled this before. I like it a lot. I think it's pretty cool. I would recommend this as a carry, definitely as a gift knife. I do like it a lot. I think, you know, I'd love to see it in some different colors. I would love to see T8 screws. I would love to see maybe, you know, a non Damascus blade type steel like 14C28N or 154CM. That would be really cool. I would love also, you know, a deep pocket carry clip. And, you know, if you don't go with the two-tone anodization here, it would be nice to have a reversible clip as well. I like the design overall. I think it's a beautiful design. I like this. It's very EDC friendly. And I think, you know, it would be nice to have a little bit longer blade on here. Now, it is a longer blade. See how it's utilizing that space there? So if you were to change the blade to maybe like a drop point or spear point, you could bring that tip up, and if you drop the standoff here, you can see the standoff, it would give you a little bit more room for maybe a little bit longer blade. But, you know, hey, I still think it's great. So I like that. Those are my nitpicks, if you will, just the kind of recommendations. If they were going to do a new design, new revision, I think it would make this knife a significantly even better knife. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to recommend it. I like it a lot. So let's do some nice close-ups here so you guys can see it. So let me zoom in a little bit. Probably a little easier if we look at the Damascus blade here. Come on, let's zoom in on that. Have a little hard time. And then here's the handle. This is going to make a really great giveaway. I'm super excited about this one and super grateful. I mean, I have awesome subscribers and members who would donate something like this to the channel. I am just humbled and super appreciative. Yeah, so this is the, as they call it, this is the Buck N Bear Thunderbird, and it's made out of Pakistan, which I think is pretty cool. I do like the design a lot. I like the two-tone. Not a big blue fan, but this works. This really does work. So go back. Oops, I'm going to go out a little bit. So let me see if I can get a little better focus on here. You can see it overall. Look at the back. Let's look at the frame lock here. Then you can see the back here with the back spacer. Right? And then you can see the sandmine blade right here. Let's see if we can get focused on that. So do that. Yeah, very cool. Cool little knife, cool little knife. Hey, if you guys have any questions about this review, about the channel, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. I do try to reply to them all, and I appreciate you guys watching the videos, liking the videos, and subscribing to the channel. So if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button? And if you've already hit the like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button? Subscribing and liking the videos like you guys do really, really helps out the channel. Allows the channel grow, allows the channel to do more things, and really ultimately do more things for you guys. So I very much appreciate that, especially you guys who watch, who like, who subscribe. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And also, if you haven't already, hit that notification button so you can be notified of future content. Finally, if you are on the, if you will, on the fence, you're not sure, I would love to have you as a channel member. I'd be super honored. Check the description down below for channel membership. I already have a bunch of channel members, and I really want to say to my channel members, you guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, channel members. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And yeah, you guys are awesome. So if you want to join, I would love to have you. Please don't ever feel any pressure to join, but it's always an open invitation. And not to try to bribe you, but I do a once a month giveaway for channel members. And, everyone gets a sticker who becomes a channel member. And if you decide to become an Uber nerd, then you get a special sticker. And then obviously there'll be like polls and early release content, exclusive content, all that wonderful stuff that goes out. So just want to say thank you to all the channel members. You guys are amazing. You humble me, and I appreciate you. And if you haven't already, let me find my card. It's over here somewhere. It was right here. Hold on. I'll knock everything over. All right, there we go. If you haven't already, check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.